what's up? Welcome to the Rivalry. Our intro actually fucking worked this week. That's a plus. Don't get that every week.
Have you
How's
been
it going?
practicing? I'm doing good. You've been practicing hitting the buttons on the behind the scenes?
Well, last time it said media not available, and I was fully prepared for that to happen today because I didn't try it before we went on, but I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let's let's
See how it happens. Let's see how it
let's
happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I figured, it's 20 seconds. So if we lose that 20 seconds, it's not that big of a deal. How are you doing? How's life in 49er land compared to Seattle?
I don't know.
Pretty
We're
sick.
bro, like how are we supposed to get anything done during the season without Trent Williams?
Yeah, so I was in a group chat of some of your 49ers friends. And they were talking about how Frank Gore Jr. got released. And my only response was, let me go back here. It's going to take me 2 seconds here. I did have a pretty quick response to that. And I do believe it's true. Right here. Sorry. God damn it, of course. Anyway, somebody said Frank Gore Jr. got released. It's the 49ers' chance to do something special. I said, ain't going to make a difference if 71 ain't there. Not doing shit if 71 ain't there.
Well, we had a chance to go after him in the draft and after the draft, and we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So what is right? And you're totally correct. Even though we did get some holes there in preseason, but that's against backup D lines. Well, I'm just gonna call them all backup D lines because you didn't have any full starting D lines out there. You might have had a starter or two, but yeah, we're in big trouble, bro.
Yeah, 71s, like I said, so we've been talking about this for fucking not even weeks now, but months at this point. It hasn't just been fucking weeks.
Right.
We're on the months side of things. I said the 49ers offense scares me a whole lot less without Brandon Aiyuk. Take Trent Williams out of that scenario, they scare me like a fucking whole lot less.
A whole lot less.
I mean, I'd rather have Aiyuk there than Williams there.
Yeah.
As a Seahawks fan, obviously.
Because to get a deep pass to Aiyuk down the field, you're going to have to use play action because you're not going to be holding holding defensive lines that aren't worried about a run to yeah. So I don't. It makes no sense why they pushed it out this far. The shit is going to blow up next year. Okay, look, bro. They like what we're going to get in today. The people they cut. It kind of pretty much points to that this is the last year.
Well, and
hold on. If this is the last fucking year, you got to get everybody on the field. You got to get them in there. You got to get them going early so everybody's in the zone and ready to go week one because you want the first seed in the playoffs. If you want to go to the Super Bowl, the best chance to get to the Super Bowl is the first seed. So what are we doing here? We got less than 2 weeks.
People are pissed at Manti Te'o for saying fucking I think the emotions are gonna make. Now, this isn't me saying. Well, let's say what he said first. I can't call the 49ers NFC West favorites because of the emotions, and I agree with that. I'm not saying the Seahawks are. I'm just thank you, Hamza. New to the channel, please subscribe to both of our channels.
The downfall.
But yeah, no, I'm fucking here for the downfall too. That's basically what I'm getting into. I have a weird fucking feeling, and I'm gonna say it to 6 people today, just like I said to 2 people last week. I'm reaching out to a huge audience here.
Huge.
I just could see this team falling apart. I just could, and that's not me being a homer at all. It's just something in my gut tells me that they're falling apart.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Well, I just don't
rebut.
see how I could see how the team like not doing or playing up to their standard could be
Mhm.
different, but I don't think it's gutted them.
No, not gutted completely, but
And I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying is,
the Super Bowl did anything to anything. I really, not that I have anything against Mateo Teo or Tapatio
Manti
boy
Te'o.
Manta Teo, but bro couldn't even find a real girl.
Don't give him shit for that. I mean, fuck, dude. I feel bad for him. If you watch the fucking documentary, I mean, I do feel bad for the guy. And this is way before the fucking 49ers shit happened.
No, I
Yes.
got you. But what I'm saying is he's not somebody who's good at reading into things.
That's a low blow. It's a low blow, buddy. I agree with him. Here's my thing.
You could agree with him. I'm
Here-
just saying when it comes something like that comes from somebody who has had no clue about some other things, like, bro.
Well, let's one sec here, because I do kind of want to argue this a little bit. If you're fine with it, if you're fine with me
Whatever.
arguing with you civilly, obviously, I'm not gonna hate you.
I will come down there, Joe.
Let's look at the last teams, and we're gonna exclude the Chiefs and the Patriots here.
Okay.
The last teams that have lost the Super Bowl. Okay, so it was the Eagles last year, made the playoffs, lost in the wild card round. Okay, let's look up before that. It was before that the Rams. The Rams went like 5-12 the year after.
They won a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, you're right. The Bengals. let's. Okay, so it would be 2022 Bengals, right?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Sure. Yep. Okay.
22 Bengals. Okay, so they did make it to the AFC Championship, lost. All I'm saying is, I'm not going. This did not turn out like I thought, but so
there's definitely hardships after you go to the Super Bowl, one way or another.
I don't think so, because after you win
there's hardships.
After you win the Super Bowl, it almost feels like there's not as many hardships. I feel like, especially
what are you talking about? You have to.
Go ahead.
People have to watch their team go bye-bye because now people want to raise because now they are a Super Bowl champion. So anybody who's a free agent after the Super Bowl win is now immediate. And if they're any type of a star player, now they're going to be asking for a bigger raise. Usually those people kind of leave. They usually get traded or something. They just kind of go somewhere else because the team just doesn't have the money. They got to give everybody else the little incremental raises instead of giving one big dude a big freaking raise.
I just feel like even going
that
back
happens. That happens with.
Go.
It happens with the losers too. Like the 49ers. Look what happened with the 49ers. Everybody wanted money this year. And now look at where we're at. We don't got two of our best people because we're dishing out everybody else's money to try and sit there and then turn around and tell somebody else we don't have the money.
So in 2020, after the 2019 Super Bowl loss, what happened? Was that just injuries, or was that a money thing too? Or was that just a morale thing?
That was injuries. That was injuries that turned into morale. Okay. Because what was it? Week two or three, Nick Bosa went down after Solomon Thomas went down, like with only one play in between them.
Jimmy G went down too, right?
2020. Yes, at one point he went down, but it wasn't like one of the bad ones. He was like out for like I think 4 to 6 weeks, something like that, and he could have came back but didn't. George Kittle everybody got fucking injured that year. That was also the COVID year.
Oh yeah.
That was also the COVID year, so it was just a messed up year for us. So go ahead.
Just from personal perspective here, so the Seahawks won the Super Bowl in 2013. Come back 2014, you lose a couple players like Byron Maxwell went on to play for the Dolphins or Eagles. That might have even been 2015. Anyways, you lose.
That was the first part of the Legion of Boom to go.
Exactly. Actually, Brandon Browner was, but that was completely drug related. So, 2014, right? You lose the Super Bowl. So 2015, Cam Chancellor holds out the first 4 games because he wants a new contract. Very much like Aiyuk, right? Doesn't get one, comes back after 4 games. It was never the same after we lost the Super Bowl.
I think
Falcons were never the same after they lost the Super Bowl.
But also the way you lost the Super Bowl was different.
It was a close game till the very end.
Right, but what I'm saying is you had the give it to Marshawn crowd. You know what I mean? Which was most of the locker room, and then you had Russell Wilson who was like, "Oh man, I'm fine with it. It's whatever, you know."
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I'm just saying, it just seems like the Super Bowl loser.
Because I believe Marshawn explained that was like the point when it like all fell off.
No, and Sherman did, and they all did, because it is true. That is when it fell off.
So I don't think it has to do with. It doesn't have to do with losing the Super Bowl. It has to do with the decisions that led to losing to the Super Bowl. And I don't think we see that here. Because you could kind of you saw things that next year where it started. You were like, "Whoa, wait, is there?" Because didn't somebody get mad at Russell Wilson that very next training camp?
No, that was actually the training. That was actually the training camp before that Super Bowl.
Okay. I just remember somebody getting all pissed off at Russell, and I was like, it's so far back, it's hard to remember what year it was. I'm just saying. But yeah. I don't know. I think the issue is we could have had all this done.
But
we could have had this all done, and they wanted to save $1 million, aka have to spend $4 more million a year.
One sec. Going back, do you think anybody in the 49ers was like, damn, we should not taken the ball in overtime, and we should have seen what the Chiefs did? Remember when everybody was bitching about that, about the decision to take the ball first, right? Do you think there's any split decisions about that in the locker room after they saw everybody going, oh, the Chiefs had a plan for this and we didn't?
Maybe later on, but if they didn't have a strong opinion then what do they have to talk about? Hindsight is 50-50, right? So 2020. Yeah. If you couldn't see that happening then, so how are you going to harp on somebody after the fact? Right?
No, I thought the same thing. I would honestly, just me, I would have taken the ball in overtime.
That's where I was. And when it comes down to it, like we couldn't really score a touchdown anyways. So what is going first and letting us not scoring a touchdown?
It's the extra down. When the Chiefs got to third down, or when the Chiefs got to fourth down, they didn't punt it, right? Because they knew they had to score a touchdown.
The extra down. If you got to worry about the extra down, if that's the one thing that was going to save your whole fucking season, holy shit, guys, what are we talking about here?
I think it saved the Chiefs season, though. I really do.
Okay. I'm just saying, with who we had blocking, it it was sketchy at best to get down there. Okay. And our defense, they figured us out. They were just getting, not like they had us totally dead to rights. They had to
No,
work
because
for
you
it.
guys got to the red zone in the Super Bowl.
I know, which I said was a miracle, which how we were handling things at that point on the line. So I don't know. I don't think we did a good job, but at the same time, like the call, the heads are we shouldn't have been in overtime. Why were you talking about heads or tails, kick or receive in the overtime? We should not have been in overtime. You know how many mistakes had to be made to get to overtime?
A lot.
I don't give a fuck about that damn fucking kick or receive. We should have been there. We should have been 10 points over them when the fucking clock ticked off. Okay.
Part of me is thinking like, it's like, fuck, you're so close, right? You're so close. And it's like Jason Kelsey said, losing the Super Bowl makes you not want to fucking go back.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought. I always just think the Super Bowl loser has the worst hangover, in my personal opinion. And you can disagree, that's fine, but that's just in my opinion.
So that can be a thing. That could be a thing, but we don't have the luxury of that. And our players know this. You've got one more season. You don't have 2 seasons to lay low and lick your wounds and, kind of get back on the horse before you go out again. No, you got to get right back on the horse. There's only one more year left.
You think it's 1? I think it might be 2.
No.
You don't think it's 2?
The 49ers don't think it's 2.
Which brings us into what Cut Day told that you don't think it's 2, because you did say that leading into the show. So I was kind of curious with that, because I do think they're favored for 2 more seasons.
We cut a lot of guys, depth guys. Some of the guys who would have been there to turn the corner from one dynasty, we'll call it, to the next, right? Braden Willis, Jalen Graham, Cody Schrader. They also there's Mordecai Womack. Womack was having issues, but
Braden Willis, that name sounds so fucking familiar.
Yeah, he's number 9. He's tight end. He was out of, was it Oklahoma? He was going to replace Juice. He was going to be the Juice replacement.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he needed another year, so they waived him. It seems like these are Danny Gray. We were expected Danny Gray to be gone, but
finally, fuck, you guys spent all off season hyping that guy up.
Was it Jarrett Kingston who we drafted this year? We just already waived him. Bye-bye. We usually try and hide our guys on the roster.
What round?
5th or 6th.
Because we waived a 6th round guy. And a lot of the times you can get those guys back on the practice squad.
Yeah, but it just...
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Shout out Kyle Hill for being in here. Shout out War Chief 12. First time seeing you. Appreciate you coming in.
Go Hawks.
Yeah, fuck it. Oh, I'm going to clip that so hard.
Aloha, go Hawks. Oh, he's out on the islands, huh? Jarrett Kingston, right? Yeah, Jarrett Kingston, 6th rounder. And we let Jalen Graham go, but we kept Tatum Bethune. And Jalen Graham was actually getting somewhere. Jalen Graham might get picked up. Why'd I even have to look at that? I got the fucking papers right here. Yeah. So it seems like, and I was surprised they released Matt Breida and Trent Taylor and Logan Thomas.
They had Logan Thomas
Twice. He got hurt. We let him go. And then we re-signed him just like, I don't know, like a week ago.
I had no fucking idea he was even on the 49ers roster.
Yeah, everybody was all excited about him.
I also didn't realize Matt Breida was on the 49ers roster.
That happened a week ago. We ran the shit out of him in preseason game to make sure he got some looks so somebody else could go pick him up. He still got it. I guess we just didn't need it. But yeah.
He played for them back in the day, right? Or
yeah.
You know? Yeah.
That's why he came in. He's like a plug and play guy. He knows the system, he knows the running scheme. Oh.
Papa J thinks they're gonna bring back
Think they're going to bring back Logan Thomas? I don't know. I was excited when I first heard him come into the team, and then I heard nothing about him at all until he got injured. And then Ted asked me, "What do you think about this?" It doesn't move the needle for me. It should have been an amazing thing that happened. We should have had like a good 2 wide receiver set where we could pass out of and it'd be nasty. That's not what we got. So I don't know. They might bring him back.
Also Latu, right? Latu's gone.
Latu. Yeah, that's somebody which he was a 3rd rounder.
Yeah, I remember that last year.
They're going to try and bring him back on waivers. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up. We'll see.
Fuck, you'd be surprised with.
It's his 2nd year. He barely started showing like he was decent. Not decent, but manageable. So if somebody else wants a tight end that is just now starting to look like they're manageable, which I don't think that's the case. They want somebody who has kind of got things in order. They just need to kind of elevate them. He's learning. That's a practice squad guy for at least another year or 2. Definitely 2. I'm telling you. He was a converted defensive end into tight end.
Latu was?
Yeah. I heard linebacker, but I'm pretty sure it was a defensive end. So it's either defensive end or linebacker, but it could be outside linebacker. You know how things roll. So. Yeah, we also got a lot of rid of kind of veteran offensive linemen. Jeez, my lights keep going out.
The fuck, dog?
Bro. They're the battery-powered lights, bro. I got battery-powered lights. I forgot to charge them.
Need to get some new fucking batteries.
No, they got the battery built in.
Oh, fuck.
They're chargeable. Yeah.
Papa J says tight end 2 Salbert will be back tomorrow when they put Ambry Thomas on IR.
Well, they also gonna have to put John Feliciano on IR, so we might even get Braden Willis or Cameron Latu back on, because we only had 2 tight ends on the roster, 53-man.
Fuck, we kept 4.
Well, that's normally what we keep. So I'm thinking after Ambry Thomas here and Feliciano goes on, I'm pretty sure we'll pick up 2 tight ends.
How many running backs you guys keep? Other than Juszczyk, fullback, how many halfbacks you guys keep?
Let me see. Where the heck? Okay. McCaffrey, Mason, Elijah Mitchell. Oh, Elijah Mitchell's going down for the season.
What?
Elijah Mitchell's out for the season. Let me make a note of that.
This feels like it's fucking starting, dude. I got a weird feeling it's going to be an
Elijah Mitchell's the man of glass. Stop it. How much did you see of Elijah Mitchell last year?
I know his name, which is saying something.
So didn't we kick Keyshawn Vaughn out? Yeah, release that fool. So why is he on the fucking shit? Jesus. Well, it looks like we only kept 4 running backs.
Okay.
McCaffrey, Mason, Patrick Taylor. I might be lying here. I gotta check my notes to see. Something was wrong already. All right. I guess the Patrick Taylor Jr. and Isaac Rendo.
Yeah. Kyle said what happened there. They didn't mention an injury with Mitchell. McNiner says, let's fucking go 49ers. Eric Wallace says, hey, all. Hey, Eric Wallace. How's it going? Go Hawks, buddy.
What up, Eric?
Been a long time, buddy.
I've been seeing Eric around.
Papa J says Patrick Taylor's one of them. Yeah. Were there any surprise cuts with your guys? Because there's really only like 3 with the Seahawks. Surprise cuts. I mean, there were. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, there was. I would say there was one in 49ers lore. Trent Taylor was released and not waived. So I could. A lot of people were thinking Kyle was going to make Trent Taylor wide receiver 6, and because he's, a vet and all this, and Kyle doesn't like to have rookies in the back there receiving kicks and all this type of stuff. He likes to put it in the hands of the pros and the vets. So a lot of people said that he was going to be that, and Conley was going to put on waivers, but Conley, Cowing, all our favorite receivers were kept.
Let's go through that. Your receivers, by the way, because with Aiyuk gone, obviously Debo and the first round pick, but other than that, Juwan Jennings. So there's the 3, but who's after those 3?
Hold on, let me go through here. Danny Gray's gone. I believe Tay Martin's also gone. Yep, Tay Martin might be on waivers. Okay, so Brandon Aiyuk is still on the 49ers as it sits, right?
Oh, he's on the 53. They put him on. Well,
no.
Yeah, they had to, right? Or no?
What is it? I think Brandon is, and Trent isn't for some reason. I think Trent isn't because he's just not showing up. Brandon has been there.
Aiyuk was a hold in and
right.
Yeah, okay.
So Brandon Aiyuk, Chris Conley, Ricky Pearsall, Debo, Juwan Jennings, and I think Ronnie Bell. That would be 6. That would be 6. So,
Ryan, you got a personal question. Not personal, but just pertaining to you and the receivers. Kyle wants to hear your thoughts on Pearsall. Dude didn't miss a single start in college, but seems to be struggling with an injury every single week now. You still high on him?
It's tough. So, as what potential I saw from what he's got in college, yeah, I'm still high on that. I fear what we have here is a lingering issue that probably needs to get surgery. And I think that's what we're seeing here. And I think it's best just to sit him, give him the surgery he needs, let him heal, come back whenever, and then come back and ask him to do what we want from him. Right?
Yeah. Kyle asked just like the shoulder. So
yes. The subluxed shoulder. Essentially, the easiest way to do it is fall in an outstretched arm. Something wide receivers are going to do. So that's, if he needs surgery, that would be a real good reason why it keeps flaring up, because it's never actually healing 100% of the way. So depends on what's going on. I wish they would just figure out what's wrong with him right now and get him on the course to getting back on the field consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm not mad that you drafted somebody who had an issue. Okay. I'm mad if you don't handle the issue as cleanly as you can. We all make mistakes. They knew about this beforehand too, I guess. All right. So be smart about it. Do something about it. Like, handle your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think. Can we get to the Seahawks for a sec?
Yeah,
We're
please.
done with the Niners offense, right?
You
Or
want
no?
to talk about Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk for an hour?
Not yet. Not yet. That hour is not here yet. I do want to say War Chief 12 said, "What's up, fellas? Go see. Been 12 since 1980. Since we moved to the NFC in 1977. I love our rivalry. My question is, why do the Niners make their stars fight so hard for money?" Go ahead. We'll do that before we get to the Seahawks offense. We'll have you answer War Chief 12's question.
I feel so. It's just to pinch pennies. So if you get somebody like Brandon Aiyuk to agree to, let's say, $1 million or $1.5 million less than what he's asking for, you can pay for one of our linemen.
But it's not baseball.
One of our starting linemen. Remember when we did this? We broke this down?
No, we did, but here's
you can actually
problem.
pay for two of our linemen, even though they're rookies, but you could pay for two of our linemen with just saving $1 million off of Brandon Aiyuk's contract.
It's so fucking hard in the NFL because it's not the MLB. They only have a certain amount of money they can fucking spend. And I don't think it's the 49ers being cheap. I think it's figuring out how you can fit these fucking contracts because you have so many talented players on the roster.
Okay. All right. So if they couldn't make the deal work when Brandon Aiyuk wanted 26 and they were offering 25, then why did they offer him 30 and not trade his ass?
No, I get that.
They're just trying to save a fucking $1 million, and they're going to end up having to pay $4 more fucking $1 million a year. And this whole time, fucking Trent Williams has been sitting out because they can't square him up. Because if they square him up and then turn around and look at Brandon Aiyuk, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, we don't have any money. It's because he gave everybody else. This was my turn to get paid, and he paid everybody else. So, like, this is just posturing leverage. This is stupid ass fucking. You could have fucking signed him for 26 and be smiling in the bank when fucking Justin Jefferson fucking shit dropped and his fucking value went to around $30 million. And you'd be like, man, hey, if I would have waited any longer, that would have cost me. Oh, look at where we at. It's costing you, fucking assholes. It makes no sense. It makes no sense if you're not signing the biggest player in the league, it makes no sense to wait. It makes no sense. If you're signing the biggest or the best player at their position, it makes sense to wait because then you can let all the other contracts figure out what they're worth underneath, and you can go just a little on top and go, see there, boom, you're the highest paid guy in the league.
You don't have Bosa. Nick Bosa.
You don't have to beat it by like $5 million. You don't have to do.
This is a different situation than Nick Bosa because I don't. Not to offend you, not to offend anybody listening, I don't think Brandon Aiyuk is the best receiver in the league. Do I think Nick Bosa could be? I'm not saying he's the best pass rusher in the league because I think TJ Watt's awesome. I think Myles Garrett's awesome. I think Mike Parsons is awesome.
Max Crosby's probably better than two of those three you named.
Okay, Max Crosby too, but top 5. I don't think Aiyuk's a top 5 receiver in the NFL right now.
And the reason why you say that is because he doesn't have the yards and the attempts, right?
Because the targets.
The targets,
But
which is out of his control, and it's amazing that he can get those stats and the amount of chances as he does.
that also goes with, okay, he doesn't have the yards, and it's double-edged sword, right? He doesn't have the yards, or he doesn't have the attempts or targets that a lot of these receivers do, right? Because they have more weapons to provide the ball to.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
17.9
when you
yards.
drop back, you're putting your best person on Brandon Aiyuk.
Are we?
Yeah. Brandon Ayuk's the best wide receiver in that you need to account for in man coverage.
See,
None of the other wide receivers on our team get any type of separation like Brandon Aiyuk does. Brandon Aiyuk will leave somebody like Jalen Ramsey on the
who's old
ground
now?
in the end zone,
Who's old now?
but not when he broke them in the end zone. There's many a times that Jalen Ramsey got served up by Brandon Aiyuk.
I'm just saying, yeah, he has a yards per attempt.
What is
He's awesome.
CD Lamb's yard per attempt? What's his yard per catch?
Yards per catch, I don't know. But what
I
I'm
think
saying
it's
is
like 11.
they're not focusing as much on Aiyuk as they are on CD Lamb. It's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
CD Lamb's their
When
only weapon.
everything else doesn't work, Brandon Ayuk's open.
No,
75%. Hold on, 75% of Brandon Ayuk's touches this year, and it's somewhere around 75%. It might be more, it might be less, but it's
I'll
in the
trust
70s.
you. Yeah, 3/4.
Was either a first down or a touchdown.
Okay, but yeah, 17.9 yards per catch. I mean, it has to be.
Right, but still, that's money.
But what I'm saying is
money.
No, I get it. And you know me. I said I'm more afraid of Brandon Aiyuk than I am Deebo Samuel, and I said that last year. You know this.
This is the price to play. This is the price of doing business.
But I respect Brandon Aiyuk. You know that. But what I'm saying is, if the Cowboys had Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Deebo Samuel, who's to say that CD wouldn't get less targets and the same amount of yards per catch? It's just hard. It's hard putting the two, or not even the two, just him in any category because the 49ers have more weapons, right? So obviously he's going to get less targets for one and more opportunities.
So if Brandon Aiyuk got 135 receptions, how many yards would he have?
2,000. Let's do 135 times 17.9, whatever that is.
That's what I'm asking you. It's 2,416.5 yards.
But do you get what I'm saying? The defense isn't just focused on Brandon Aiyuk. Like if the Cowboys are playing, I mean, let's be honest. If the Cowboys are playing, you shut down CD Lamb, right? If the Vikings are playing,
how much tape have you watched?
Jefferson.
How much tape have you watched of Brandon Aiyuk?
Not much.
So I implore you to watch Brandon Ayuk's tape, because what I showed you as far as the math would make sense. Just saying. Hey, tell you what, please, before the next show, I want you to watch 1 or 2 Brandon Aiyuk highlight reels and let me know what you think. Because one thing Pat McAfee was even talking about, they were watching so much Brandon Aiyuk reels to figure out how good he was, that they started seeing how good Purdy was. They're like, watching these Brandon Aiyuk plays, you really see a lot of these good Brock Purdy plays, because he's making great throws, and Brandon Aiyuk's making amazing catches.
I'm not saying that I don't think Aiyuk's great. I'm just
What
saying.
I'm saying is when, yes, you've got all these things on the field that you need to have attention with, but when it's 3rd and long and you're a DB or a safety, you need to know where Brandon Aiyuk is, because whoever's in charge of guarding him, they better bring a lunch.
And that's what
It's not like, oh, we got to
that
worry
what
about Christian McCaffrey. Everybody on the field's not worrying about Christian McCaffrey. They're worrying about the guy in front of them. And when you got 1-1 in front of you, you got a long day. You got a long day.
what's the deal with why couldn't they get rid of Debo Samuel and keep Aiyuk if they do need to move money around, right? If they're
They
like,
don't. They don't. This is, or they would. If this was the situation, that's what they would. They're not. They don't. They just want to pay less, and they're willing to fucking let two very important players on our team just sit out and not be ready for the season. They don't, okay, let's say they sign tonight. Let's say 49ers cave, everybody comes tomorrow, right?
mhm,
Well, it's not tomorrow, but the next practice day.
yeah,
You don't have enough time to get your callus. You don't have enough time to get your callus before week 1.
no, and this is what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about last week.
Yeah. And you said, when do you think this will get in? Probably another 2 weeks.
You think
I
it
said
goes
then,
into the season for
I
both
think
of
it's
them or
going,
just one?
I don't understand why you would wait this long if you weren't comfortable with waiting to go into the season. Right?
Yeah, no, makes sense. Well,
Yeah.
not really to me, but
Well, if
your
you're,
point makes sense.
because if it's something that's really not that trivial, having all your guys there for week 1 is really important. So if it's nothing that's, if it's something that's really trivial and can be worked out, then that would just be done. And bygones be bygones. Fuck it. You won. You you got us, at the last moment. Okay, we'll come across the table the rest of the way for you, and we'll see you in camp. It's not what's going on here. Both sides are like, well, you know what we want. You know what I'm saying? Both sides are like, well, you know what we want. So
Yeah, they ain't fucking budging.
war chief,
Oh, go ahead.
Debo Samuels relies heavily on Brandon Aiyuk. When Debo is hurt, Brandon Aiyuk takes up all the targets, which is very true. He's the hardest working receiver in that room for sure, as the 12 loves.
Dick.
I know that for
I'm just kidding. That's 12.
uh
Let's see. Debo, I'm assuming.
yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say necessarily that Debo relies heavily. I would say actually all the wide receivers kind of rely on Brandon Aiyuk to kind of be on the field, because if he's got any kind of route that's going anything that looks vertical, the safety has to figure things out, and they have to plan for that, which opens up things underneath.
I like this. NFC West going to be good this year. I think so. I fucking think so too, and that's why I'm arguing like this. It's like, legit. I think there is 4 teams that could win the division this year. I don't.
You're fucking lying.
No, I'm not. I think that
Marvin Harrison Jr. ain't doing that much.
I think that if Kyler steps up like he's supposed to,
Kyler step up. Motherfucker's got a step stool. Can't even see over the fucking counter. That guy has never been worth the wait. He's nothing.
Yeah.
He might start out good. I bet the moment adversity comes,
he starts fucking awesome, and that's the weird thing with that.
He starts and then he just fucking crumbles. Once he faces adversity, it's somebody else's fault, and then nobody respects that, and then you're back to square one and trying to figure out who you can pair with him.
But I legit think there's 4 talented teams in this division. I think the 49ers are the most talented team. The Rams are the second. Seahawks third. Cardinals fourth. I think
I think your defense is going to be better than the Rams.
Oh no,
And
I think
and I
here's my
feel
thing.
that if your offense can get halfway going, I think you guys will be better than the Rams.
Well, can we talk Seahawks football for a second? I'm sorry,
Please.
yeah. It's just like I said, I think the Seahawks defense is going to be fucking awesome the last half of the season. I think this defense is so complicated, just like Kyle Shanahan's offense. We're going to try to confuse the offense with our defense, just like Shanahan and McVay does with their offense does to the defense. I think that's what our defense is going to do to the offense. Yeah, I know that was a lot.
Yeah, it was so horrible I had to spit. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. No, I just think we're going to confuse you with blitzing different guys. It's going to be different looks every play. I don't know, and I'm really happy about our interior defensive line. Exactly, we got Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy is going to be fucking awesome this year. I don't know. I just feel like that. I'm excited. Words can't even explain like how I think. I don't care how we start. I don't care if we start 1-5. I just want to see this team finish for once.
You look like you just got a new girl.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how the Seahawks are this year, because we don't know what we're gonna see from them the first half of the season, right? We don't, because I mean it's a brand new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach, assistant head coach, special teams coordinator. Literally nobody's the same. But I think next year we're gonna be a problem.
Let's see, who do you got week 1?
Broncos.
Oh, that's right. I got you penciled in as the. Don't I? Yeah, I got you penciled in as the winner.
Good. Might as well. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, there's a couple games I already got penciled in.
If our defense does what it's supposed to do against our rookie quarterback in his first game in the loudest stadium in the NFL, right? There's no excuse for losing that game.
Well, let's
ahead.
face it, it hasn't been the loudest stadium in the NFL for a couple of years now.
I'll agree. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
And that irritates the shit out of me.
Yeah. Why?
Like,
they built the damn stadium so it would have an effect.
But they didn't
get up.
Do you know why they built the stadium that way?
Yeah, you told me some shit like that. I don't give a damn.
So Paul Allen grew up going to Huskies games, right? And the eaves over the sideline to protect the rain over the fans was something that he really liked, and it just turned out that fucking sound echoes off it.
Yeah.
And let's not lie, it's not like we're fucking Chargers fans, right? We're up and we're fucking screaming on defense. It's not like we're just casual fans. And
well,
the stadium just turns into
it's gotten extremely quiet lately, to the point where as a 49ers fan, I'm a little offended, because I expect more, right? Like, where's this rivalry?
No, I do too. I do too. It's frustrating.
When like 49ers fans,
really.
When 49ers fans can have not a majority of Quest Field or whatever.
Not a majority. No,
not a majority. But anything close to it where you can see, oh, there's
red.
Yeah.
And that irritates the fuck out of me. You know what I think it is too? I think there's a lot of people that hopped on the 49ers bandwagon over the last couple of years when they're like, oh, fuck, the 49ers are really good, right? I think there's a lot of those motherfuckers out there. Just like there's a lot of Seahawks motherfuckers like that. They're like, oh shit, the Seahawks are really good. I'm gonna fucking root for them, and I can't stand people like that.
49ers fans travel.
There's a lot of them that travel from fucking Kent. I'll tell you that.
Well, what I'm saying, Joe, is like, who was it? there was a clip last year. We went to Jacksonville, and people were like, they ain't gonna.
But Jacksonville doesn't have any fans to begin with. I met
Well,
2 Jaguars fans in my life.
yeah, but in Jacksonville, right? They were like, they ain't gonna black us out. We redded them out to the point where one guy was like, "Nah, you can have that shit."
The only blackout that the Jaguars should be worried about is whether their local television is going to black them out because they haven't sold enough tickets.
I don't get this.
I wanted to see your thoughts on what Tribe said.
Question the rivalry with these two. Rams are the class.
Yeah, you're right, buddy. The Rams are totally the class.
Totally the class.
Yeah. If you want to hop on here, Tribe, more than welcome.
Tribe.
DM us. We'll fucking get you on here. We'll make it the rivalry plus Tribe plus the Rams.
We can put a yellow streak right in the middle.
Yeah. Kyle's a little offended. He said, Ryan, you go to Seahawks games often.
No. But you can hear it on the television.
And you can. I'm not going to argue that. I think it's bullshit. Sorry about the dog.
You're good.
Bebob Jones, I'm not sure what it is today. We have third most in the league. About 284 million. I'm assuming that's spent. Okay. The Jags have a bull in their stadium. Fuck yeah, they do.
Kyle, they show up to those games. They're just behind the mosquito nets, which is underneath the second level, or the second level. Yeah,
nobody, like Kyle says, you can't talk about taking over Jacksonville. Literally nobody shows up to those games. I'm sorry. Jaguars don't deserve to have it. Jacksonville does not deserve to have an NFL team.
Remember, we take over Los Angeles. We took over Dallas.
No, that's fine. Dallas is one to brag about.
We take over everywhere we go. Not necessarily take over, but when the Niners are playing your town,
there's
team,
a presence. There is a presence.
All over.
But I'm telling you, once they started really since 2019, and COVID year obviously was different because there was literally no fans in the stadium. But there's been a lot more for Niners fans.
This is the other thing. Well, a lot more Niners fans. Why were they before? Why would somebody travel from their state to go to, let's say, a Seattle football game against the Niners to watch them lose?
Because they should want to go no matter what, right?
You can watch it at home. No, well, not at the home stadium. You know what I mean? You don't have to invest in the plane ticket and the ticket in the stadium to watch that shit. You can just.
If I could afford it, I'd do it. No matter win, lose, or draw. I don't care if the Seahawks are 0-17. If I could afford it, I'd go to every game possible.
Okay. I'm just saying not everybody
feels that way.
Yeah. And rightly so. Who wants to watch yourself get punched in the nuts for 2.5 hours?
I know some people that do it for fucking 6 months. They're called Mariners fans.
Yes.
Sorry.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be really dedicated, and not everybody's built for that. And you can't hold everybody else accountable for your fandom, how you take care of your team. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same for everybody. And I don't know about like people jumping on the bandwagon. I'm sure there's definitely some.
Oh, a shitload. There was a shitload of bandwagon Seahawks fans. And it pisses me off. Any bandwagon fan, root for your team. If that's your team, root for your team.
I'm not comfortable giving any sort of a measuring adjective to, you know what I mean, put towards that. Because I'm just saying, I don't have any facts. You don't either. And I don't know
You're
how
right,
much.
because the person can go, "Oh, I've been a fan since 1976."
Right.
They could just say that.
You just all you got to have is a piece of apparel with that fucking year on it, and you've got the knowledge to be able to lie over and over again. So I don't know, but I do know that there's some. It's like I was at work talking about loyal Seahawks fans, and somebody said there's no Seahawks fans. Da 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 da. And I said, no, there's true Seahawks fans. They're like, no, they just came around, in 2000 and
12.
I was like, oh, the 2012s. He's like, yeah, ha, ha, ha. And I was like, no, there's guys who got them parkas from the 80s, bro.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like I know people that walk around in parkas, like Seahawks parkas from like the 80s and the 70s, and that's just how they live their life in that same jacket.
yeah,
And
and I have respect for those people.
I bet
I
you
really
Eric Wallace got one of them jackets.
No,
I
I do.
bet you,
I
know what I'm saying?
respect people 10 times more that stick with it through the bad.
Yeah.
I can't stand the people that only, "Oh, man, they're good. I'm gonna fucking talk about them now." Talk about them when they're shitty, you know? Sorry. We're on a completely different conversation than what the fuck I
Who
thought was happening.
got cut off your fucking squad? You got the list?
Really 3 people that were surprising. One of them was Jamie Sheriff.
You hear this, 49ers? Jamie Sheriff, what position? Hold on, I got
Uh,
my pen.
outside linebacker. You might
Right.
relate with this guy. He's
Yeah.
actually a beer delivery driver.
Oh,
Yeah, had 2 sacks our last game. Kind of been in the backfield all preseason.
beer delivery driver.
That was surprising.
Is he from around here?
No,
Oh,
no, like deep south. Actually, he's like from Alabama. Another one that got cut that was surprising. I want to shout out Z Woods Racing. He's gonna do kind of like a almost weekly, like every other week show or something with me. We're gonna have a regular show called Seahawks Coast to Coast. D. Eskridge was surprising.
wait, what's the name of the show?
Seahawks Coast to Coast. That's what's up. Anyways, D. Eskridge, I was like, finally, they're getting rid of him. Finally, they're going to get rid of him. And then he returns a punt for a touchdown in the last preseason game. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. No way. They're going to fucking keep him because of this. They didn't. He's been a second round draft pick. Hasn't done anything for the Seahawks in the past 5 years. So that's kind of good to see him go. And then Cody White, I was really surprised that Tariq Young took the last receiver spot compared to Cody White.
He was a second round draft pick
In 2017 or 18, 20, 2020 or 21. It was 20 or 21.
Because when you said 5 years, I'm like, what? They extended this guy?
They did. They re-signed him to
Why?
like a minimum deal.
Okay.
Right? That's one of those things. Like we were talking about this before the offseason. It'd be interesting to see who the Pete guys were and who the Schneider guys were. And that was definitely a Schneider guy because he fucking re-signed him immediately. But yeah, no. And then I was really surprised they kept Tariq Young over Cody White, who caught a touchdown pass.
It shouldn't be who's a Pete guy and who's what's his name?
John.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a who's a Pete guy, who's a John guy. It should be John should be funneling Pete guys into Pete left and right. Right? Isn't that how a GM should work?
That's how it used to go.
Yeah, it just makes no sense why you would be like, oh, I like this guy. I know he doesn't. If some coaches are so fucking arrogant that when they don't want somebody and you give it to them anyways, they're just gonna they wanted the player that you didn't get them, so they're gonna show you that you don't want to do that again, and they're just gonna make sure this guy sucks, and they're gonna look at you and go, Maybe you should have got the guy that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. Just get the people your guy wants and needs, and let's go off to the races.
Yeah, me neither. I do want to give one more was George Halani. I thought he was going to make the roster as kind of the fourth running back. We kept three.
You only kept 3 running backs?
Yeah.
How many
Hey,
times have you gone through 3 running backs?
In a season?
Yeah.
Oh, how many years have we been around? 76.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like in the
It's almost been 50 years. I think
now it might be a totally
25.
new offense. It might be totally a new offense, but okay.
No, it is. And I think Kalani will end up on the practice
4
squad.
tight ends, Bebop.
4 tight ends from the Seahawks too. Yeah, we got AJ
No, we
Barner.
only did 2, but I was answering him. I think he was asking you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, four tight ends for both the teams. Got Pharaoh
Fuck,
Brown.
I'm over here by myself.
Brady Russell, Pharaoh Brown, Brady Russell, George Fant, and AJ Barner. They kept just because I think that somebody would sweep him up the waiver wire. He hasn't done anything this preseason. I want to give a big shout out to War Chief 12 for really being active today. You're saying, fuck yeah, there's a lot of Seahawks bandwagon motherfuckers. Fucking motherfuckers. I agree with you, War Chief 12. 100%.
I think they really do the fan base more harm than they do good.
Like for sure. Look at the Patriots, dude. Look at the Cowboys. Look at the 49ers. I mean, the bandwagon fans are almost worse because I feel like the bandwagon fans are the ones to fucking fight you, right? Over
because they want to feel like they've got some skin in the game because they've never been around for over
bad times.
Like 3
the
decades.
Bad times. I want to see you be around for the bad times.
Right. And what annoys me is you can just be a fan of football, dude. You can wear a Seahawks jersey and a Patriots hat and let everybody know I'm a fan of football. I like who I like. That's perfectly fine. My buddy Chris, he would just talk shit about other people's teams. And I go, bro, if you're going to talk shit about other people's teams, like it's fine to not pick a team, bro. You know what I mean? But you run around talking shit to everybody else about their team. That's not fair. You need to have your own team they can talk shit back at you about.
And pick the Jaguars. If you're a rookie,
bro,
if you're fucking 40 years old and still haven't found a team, pick the Jaguars, the Titans, anybody in the AFC South.
He couldn't decide. He couldn't decide between the Falcons or the Saints. And he looked on the schedule and it was like a week or 2 later they played. And he was like, winner of that game gets my fucking loyalty. The Falcons won. He's been a Falcons fan ever since. He got hats and he's got all that shit. They tanked. They were doing great. They were doing great. They were just smacking people. And he's like, bro, this is fucking badass. He went out and bought a hat. And the moment he bought the hat, you can watch it. You can see it on the stats. He goes, win, 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 loss, 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 through seasons, loss, 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 loss. It's bad. So hopefully he'll have a good year this year with his Falcons.
We're going to cut Michael Jackson, so losing Barrett. I don't understand why. I mean, Michael Jackson 22 was fucking awesome.
So we need to pick up Michael Jackson, huh?
No, he probably made the team for the Panthers, I'm assuming. We traded him for Michael Barrett, an inside linebacker who was a 7th round pick out of Michigan.
I thought I saw that there was a trade. That's right.
There's been a couple. We traded a 6th round pick for outside linebacker / edge rusher from Jacksonville. Before we get out of here, because we don't have much time left, let's be honest, it's 9:00. I do want to give the opposite of a shout out to Wyatt Teller of the Cleveland Browns. offensive line for fucking chop blocking Chenna Nwosu in the preseason and straining his MCL. So thanks, brother. I appreciate that. That's basically what Seahawks fans are pissed off about right now.
Wait. Just move your mouth real quick.
Yeah, boo.
Supposed to move your mouth like you're talking.
No, yeah. No, yeah, screw that guy. Freaking Wyatt Teller, this ain't the 90s. You don't get rewards for chop blocks, you douchebag. Yeah, 100%.
Preseason.
Yeah.
In preseason.
Yeah, that was bullshit, dude. Like, everybody there was pissed. It was obvious when it happened. Like, he literally just went for his knees once again in the preseason.
Yeah.
Okay. That was that's kind of a big deal, and there needs to be some ramifications for that. I know that actually kills me. So anyways, yeah, that's about it.
At least nothing heavy happened.
No, but it could have been.
No, I just making a joke because you were like,
no, I'm still pissed. I promise.
I got you. I don't like cheap shit. First thing, when you do cheap shit comes back on your team. So, like, if I was to go and just do some cheap shit to their quarterback, their defense is going to try and do cheap shit to mine. Okay, I don't want that to happen. I want to beat people fair and fucking square, so they can't get mad about it. Right? That's how I think it's best to do it. When they have to respect your savagery, because it's just plain up beat them. I think that's how you do it. Doing this chop block and shit.
Well, like War Chief says, we just got Chenna back. He was out all last season.
Yeah.
So
and somebody gets in there, he's like, I get to have my chance. People will be talking about me for a day.
Well, hey, let's
thank everybody for coming out tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry we really didn't get anywhere. We just argued the whole time. I'm so sorry about that.
Hey, you want to talk about the Brandon Aiyuk contract situation and the Trent Williams situations? Joking.
Yeah, we did. We fought about that a little bit. Haven't seen it go back. But yeah, no, thank you everybody. What do you have going on this well, it's Tuesday, so the rest of this week and this weekend?
Nothing as of yet, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see. No. Ted,
like there's something.
Ted got a job or something like that, and that we might be switching to the mornings.
Mornings with Ted and Ryan.
Yeah. And then we did the show today, so no show tomorrow with Joe doing the rivalry.
Yeah, that's my
might have something with Bashar at the end of the week though, but I haven't talked to him about it yet. So
sick.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it out there for everybody watching. The fucking Huskies first game is Saturday. Pumped about that. Right? Me and Kyle, this guy here, gonna be tailgating before the game. Find us in lot E1. We'll have a TV, cornhole, beer pong, whatever you think, or whatever you can think of. We'll have burgers, hot dogs, brats. I'm sure none of you will make it out to it. All of you 2 people watching right now.
we got more on Twitter.
That's a secret.
Oh.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to show up to the Dogs game, just hit us up. We'll be there.
All
right. We got a show next Wednesday. Me and Ryan.
Yep.
So we'll argue more next weekend about bandwagon fans and wide receiver top 5s. That's what the people love.
Yep.
So,
the day before the start of this. No, next week.
Yeah, no, the day
Yeah.
before the start of the season. Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Baltimore, Kansas City, Thursday night.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, see you guys. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Peace.